What's going on, everybody? Today is Thursday, December 19th, officially less than a week from Christmas. Hope everybody's feeling festive. But we are here tonight to discuss the story of how John Dunphy won the Strat Chat Survivor 47 draft. So
Oh.
let's get into it. Yes, my name, of course, is John Dunphy Lamont, standing the most recent winner of Survivor. She's great. I'm joined, as always, by my fellow tribe mates, Mr. Kyle Petty-Basal and Miss Gina Morgino. How you guys doing? Have a nice day so far?
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Very good.
Yeah. No notes.
Well,
No notes.
we're Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. So find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. All right, please do that. I'm also just realizing that I want to fix something here very quickly. Give me one moment. All right. That's better.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yes, you did hear correctly. I won. I'm the winner.
I won.
Yeah.
Actually, Rachel won, so ipso facto.
Yes.
Tonight's about me.
Yeah. I just do need to, point out though that I am
Congratulations.
I am the champion of the Big Brother draft and the Survivor draft this year.
Wow. Yes, you are.
So yes, bow down and worship
All
me.
right.
Thank you. All right.
We have to.
I don't have to do shit.
No, but just messing around. Gina is also a winner here. We do have to acknowledge.
This is exactly what happened last year. I pick good teams. I just can't pick a winner of the season.
Although I do have to say, Mikey's not here to defend himself. I know, but I did catch something that I did. All right, with his numbers here.
Shenanigans.
Now, if you look at the totals from the points, I won this week with 69 points.
Mm-hmm.
69, yeah. Team Marvin at 43 points. Team Petty with 19. Team Morgino with a measly 6 points.
A maudlin.
But I do find it interesting that I won the episode, got the most points, and yet for some reason I had to leave both graphics here, because if you noticed last week I had 409.5 points, and somehow after winning this week's episode I still finished the season with 409.5 points. So just want to throw that out there.
You somehow lost an episode win. Or no, never mind. I got it. I'm here now. So, I don't know why I thought the top one was more recent. That's not how graphics work ever.
Yeah.
Right. No, so I just want to throw it out there that I think Mikey was trying to keep himself in second place in our fantasy draft, but I actually...
Oh wow! So you're calling like a hard shenanigans.
No, I still... well, so if we look at his points, right, they put him up to 467.5.
No, I get it. I see what he did.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah, if you added the 69, he would have slid down.
So I just have to call it out.
He's tired of being in the trenches. No, you're right. Mikey failed the audit.
But all right, enough of that. I'm really just having fun. But I can't wait to talk about this finale with you guys, because I do think it was a pretty entertaining one.
It was a great finale.
Yeah, right. Obviously, in our part one of our pre-finale, whatever we want to call it, we had lost Andy and Genevieve, setting us up with the final four of Rachel, Teenie, Sue, and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we had our immunity challenge, which was pretty exciting. Did you like this as a last immunity challenge? I feel like Australian Survivor is so different, right? I feel like they always do some kind of endurance thing where they're like, so like this is more of I feel like just a regular like immunity challenge like we get throughout the season. Do you like that? Did you like this one, or do you wish they did something similar to like Australian Survivor to end the game?
I don't remember what it was now.
It was like an obstacle course. There was a word puzzle, a puzzle at the end. I think it was
And that puzzle,
the
the hanging
hanging bat
fish, the
one.
hanging fish. Oh, it was a bat.
It was a
Okay.
bat. Yes.
I was texting a lot during it.
Getting a bat and a fish confused is wild.
Yeah.
Well, because I was only half. Oh, you know what else? I was also writing my Christmas cards because I knew they had to go out by
You got to get those
this
out. You got
morning.
to.
Yeah, and I had to. So no, it was fine. Like whatever. I don't really care about it.
Yeah. Well, Rachel did win. It was her 4th immunity win, which she tied the record. She's now one of 5 female players, right, with 4 individual immunity wins.
She was like so close to not winning that one too.
Yeah, it was close. Sam was close.
Mhm.
Sam never could get that immunity win. It actually was funny to me because there was a couple of times where like I felt like there was just a lot of contradictions. Like I felt like Sam had the second best chance to win going into this episode. I definitely feel like he played a pretty good game. I just felt like there was a lot of contradictions because like Sam wanted to call himself like both a scrappy player and the most well-rounded, and it's like, well, you can't be the most well-rounded if you didn't win a single individual.
Right.
You can't be the most well-rounded and be scrappy. I mean, I guess you could be scrappy, but I feel like I don't think of the most well-rounded as the person that's always scrapping by to save themselves in the game.
Yeah.
At some point, you've gotten immunity under your belt, or you had an idol in your pocket, or something. So I felt like the way Sam's game was kind of like explained throughout the episode. I just felt like it didn't really match up.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that he said was an oversell, but I think that's kind of what you have to do at that stage. So like I don't really fault him for that. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it further, but yeah, I don't really.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of his strategy was just kind of like throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks, you know? Which, I mean, obviously that's what you're gonna do, is like, all right, well, I'm just gonna give you everything I got and hopefully something will resonate with somebody.
Yeah, and I think his position was also interesting too because he was never really in a position of any real power. So like you kind of do just have to throw things at the wall because he never really had any real agency other than the fact that people were intimidated by him. But I still don't really know why because again, he wasn't winning. I think he only won that reward challenge that got Skinny all pissed off.
Yeah, there was. I think he had made a comment at one point that like, oh, he's been to the sanctuary 3 times, but he's never won an immunity. So I don't know if that was all like individual reward challenges that he won.
Thought maybe he was picked,
or if some of them were team.
I don't remember that, to be honest. Okay,
yeah. The way it was presented made it seem like he had won those reward challenges, but it could have been as part of a team. It might not have all been individual, you know, like who knows.
The other thing was hard because it's like, yeah, he didn't have any real power, any real agency, and it's like he was a part of good moves, but none of those were specifically his moves. He was like in with the right people who, as a combined total, made those moves. So like, yeah, I guess you can like take credit for it if, you know, we were saying like with Operation Italy and like whatever, like you can take credit for it if you're the only one in the final 3 who was a part of it, but it's still like you can't really say, oh yeah, I solely made this move. You still kind of have to throw credit to other people. And when there are people who do have their own moves that you're fighting against, it's impressive, but not in the same way.
Did Operation Italy, like the actual name of the plan, ever come up during the final tribal too? Because I felt like Sam gave some pretty good answers during the final tribal council, but I'm a little surprised that he didn't lean into that more of being like, me and Genevieve were on the outs.
I don't remember hearing it, but it doesn't mean he didn't say it. I don't really remember.
Right. Just because I feel like it was really mostly Andy's plan, and it was really mostly Genevieve that made the fake idol, but Sam was obviously very involved, and I feel like maybe that's why he didn't like bring it up so much. But at the same time, I feel like he could have very easily been like, me, Genevieve, and Andy all came up with this plan. We executed it together. I'm still here because of it, you know, like, and I feel like he didn't like lean into that as much. I don't know.
I also kind of feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I might be like forgetting exactly the way he said things. It to me felt like Sam's final tribal was more about trying to undercut Rachel than it was about owning his own moves. Like, I feel like he spent more time trying to make her seem less impressive than he did focusing on what he did.
Yeah. Which maybe he had to. Maybe he just didn't have enough on his resume to to brag about.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because what can he really claim was his big move?
Mm.
He can't really claim anything for his. And like, but Rachel, she did have an impressive resume, so it's really just better to kind of just act like her things didn't count. Which is why he's like, "Oh, do you really want to vote for somebody who just won all these challenges and just had all these tricks up their sleeve?" And it's like, well, yes, actually, because that
That means
it
they
was
played better.
exactly that means they played the game.
Yeah.
But I kind of got it because what else do you have?
Mm.
Right. Yeah, you got to kind of, play down the other person's game to
Mhm,
make yours look
mhm.
better. And I feel like, because I until Sam started trying to like paint it that way, I always looked at Rachel's game as just being very impressive. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Soul saved her. Like, she could have been gone, but she also had, and you could say that that's luck, but it was also incredibly unlucky that Rachel ended up in that split that they did, where it was Rachel and all
Right.
five like Tuku members. That was very unlucky.
Yes, it
And if
was.
you want to say it's lucky that she was saved, well, why did Soul feel that he should save her? Because she
Right.
clearly made it clear that he was important.
Yeah,
She was important to his game.
she
So that,
clearly made some kind of
yeah.
an impression.
And even the whole thing with the fries and finding that idol, like she still had to go while everyone was literally sitting under the shelter at camp and get
Oh,
the
I
idol
forgot that.
without anyone noticing. Like,
I forgot
um,
about that. Yeah.
yeah,
Right. Focusing so much on the clue, and it's like that was not an easy idol to get at
yeah,
all.
I'm
yeah.
gonna be so real with you. I found Rachel impressive from the time that she tried to scam her way into pocket rice. So that's all I
Right,
needed to
yeah.
see.
That was actually, I think, that was the turning point for all of us. To be honest with
I
you,
was
I
like, I
forgot about
love
that
her.
too. We're like, oh wow, she's thrifty.
Yeah. You
Like,
know,
she's
it's
Yeah,
what
sneaky. I like her.
yeah.
I also really enjoyed, so I feel like it was too brief. Like when I think about like good rivalries, right? One of the ones I think about is like Ferris and Kirby in
Sure.
Australia, right? And I feel like we got a very brief little rivalry between like Genevieve and Rachel in this season, which I would love to see more of. Like see them, the two of them competing against each other or working together, having a love-hate relationship. Because there was a point where I saw on Twitter that people were calling it like the Ice Queen versus the Rice Queen. And I was
That's
like,
very
oh my
funny.
God, this is so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the seasons weren't like 2 weeks, we
Yeah.
might actually have gotten that.
Yeah. Um, okay. We have to talk about the fire making.
Yes, please.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So obviously, Rachel decided because of Sue's loyalty that Sue would be given a spot in final three. And that meant that Teeny and Sam would be making fire. I can't believe, and that's another thing. Sam wants to talk about having a well-rounded game. You're 25 days in, you haven't made a single fire yet.
I mean, that's something that you practice at home before you even get on the plane.
Seriously,
Right.
that's so unacceptable. And just that alone, like, I'm sorry, you deserve to lose. Like, I remember, like, years ago, I think it was season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race, where like somebody had come on and they couldn't sew, and Bianca Del Rio leaned
Oh.
over and said, "Girl, this is season 6.
Hmm.
Like, you should know that you need to know how to sew. There's no sympathy here. You should know how to do this. This is not the first season." And
Hmm.
it's like, how do you get to season 47, especially in this new era? And you
You don't even
don't think
think
it's
about practicing
necessary?
fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Carson out here illegally recreating 3D puzzles to make sure he's in a better position. And you are not practicing with Flint?
Yeah.
Completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Completely, totally unacceptable.
Yeah. And for a while, when watching them practice, it made it seem like this was going to be Sam's downfall here, and Teeny was getting coached by Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
See, unfortunately, because the edit was making it seem like it was such a clear shot, I knew Sam was gonna win it, and I was like, God damn it! The
Yeah,
entire
I mean,
every
yeah.
time they talk about how great of a spot TD was in, I was like, shit.
And it looked for a while like it could be that that's what we were getting set up for. But then, like, the fire making challenge actually started, and Teeny got a flame fast, and that fire grew quickly, and Sam was unable to get a flame for a very long time. And obviously, people on Twitter are pretty upset about this. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I feel like I guess you're outside, the elements are there. How do you kind of control for that? But to make it fair to everybody, I mean, like, it has to be some sort of a controlled environment, right? I mean, did Teeny get screwed here from being sent to final three?
Like, yes and no, because there was also, I don't remember who it was that posted it, but someone had posted a screenshot of when they were like looking at it on the side, whatever that camera angle was, and you could see that like Sam just built his fire backwards a little bit to
A little
account for the
further back.
fact that there might be wind. So if the wind pushes it, I need to move it a certain way because I can tell the wind is kind of moving this way. So if the wind blows the fire, it has to blow it into the thing. Like, and it's not the first time that we've seen challenges that are changed because of the weather. We see the
Isn't
tide
that
comes in and changes the like one where you're holding onto the thing underwater. You see it's
Mhm,
raining
mhm.
and you need to know how to like get your grip on the things that you're holding onto. Like you're playing, it's called Survivor. You're living outside on an island in the elements. The elements are of course going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that we've seen this fire making be affected by wind in the
Yeah.
past. So you should have been a little bit more prepared for that moment as well. I cheered so much
Oh
when Teeny won.
no.
You would have thought that I single-handedly won the Super Bowl. The ruckus that I caused
I
in
was
this
so
house.
upset.
Oh my goodness. I really thought it was over for Sam. And it really has nothing to do with cheering so much for Sam. It was really cheering against Teeny. I
Ah,
wanted nothing more than for Teeny to lose. And then I didn't care who won after that. I really didn't care as long as it wasn't Teeny. I mean, just so cocky. I don't know who she thinks
I
she
was
is. I
it's like
really don't. Uh,
I personally, like, draft wise was upset. I again, I'm the naysayer here. I like Teeny, so for that reason I was upset. But that all being said, I normally don't enjoy the Final Four fire. I think it's kind of lame. It's not really my favorite game mechanic. This was one of my favorite Final Four fires I have ever seen. I literally was like holding my breath the entire time because it just kept switching off. It was so close. Like, it was just
it
so
was thrilling.
engaging and fun
It
to
was
watch.
thrilling. It was thrilling. And
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think about Teeny's comment afterwards? Like, basically that it was good that I lost because I really think that I was going to win.
The team is not going to win.
Teeny.
I hope it was a sarcastic comment.
I don't think it was. I really don't think it was.
And it's like, have we seen before that sometimes fire can sway some votes? Sure. I don't think it was going to sway that much of this particular
Yeah,
vote in this
you thought
particular
you were going to
season.
beat Rachel based on what? By your own admission, every time you turn around, you got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You never knew what was going on. And you think that you were going to
This
beat
was unfortunately
Rachel?
never going to be Teeny's game to
Yeah.
win.
And
Never.
that was the whole reason Teeny flipped on Rachel when Andy and Genevieve were still in the game and decided to tell everybody about Rachel's block of vote because
Mhm.
Teeny flat out said I can't beat Rachel. So
Yeah.
I don't know what everybody was talking about. Look, I would have been Sue, just sitting there, just happy to be part of the conversation.
Like, I'm just happy
Because
to
I
be
know
included.
exactly. Because I can't beat her. How dare I try to even like
Yeah.
downplay her game? Please, I know I don't have any place here. I'm just happy to be here.
comment here from Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. Says, I don't know. It would be social versus strategy again if Teeny made Final Tribal Council. I just don't think that Teeny did it enough socially or strategy wise
No, because
I don't
to
think
beat
the
Rachel.
social game was
no,
enough.
I think the social end of it is really just because people liked her. It has nothing to do with like there's. I don't think that just being likable socially is enough to win. Like I think that social and strategy is a little bit linked. I don't think we can completely like separate that. Like your social game should be strategic.
It's
And if
only enough if you have a very, very bitter fury, or if the other two people you shoot next to are incredibly unlikable.
And that's the only way. That's the only way. Playing completely on emotions.
Mhm.
But if we're going to sit here and have a conversation about like what we actually did in this game that makes me deserve to win when you're sitting against people like this, because
Yeah.
Sam might maybe people were not super jazzed, they weren't super enthused by him, but I don't think they were so turned off that if he
No.
had played better, that would have been a factor. You know, if
Even
he
still,
actually,
I think if Rachel wasn't in Final Tribal, it was
I
Sam's
still
game.
don't.
It was Sam's game.
Yeah, I still don't think Teeny had a shot.
Oh, no.
No. So
Yeah,
sorry.
I think if somehow this ended up being a final two and it came down to Sue and Teeny, Teeny still wasn't going to win.
Well, Teeny might have wanted
Yeah,
that.
I don't know about that. I
Teeny
wouldn't go
wanted
that far.
Sue won an individual immunity and had an idol that she played on her own. I just everybody was talking about the red paint idol. I
And
actually
it's
think
not that Sue
Yeah.
didn't have an
and
argument. I just don't know that it's that cut and dry that they wouldn't have
and
shot against her.
Yeah, I think that Sue would have had some arguments there, though. Like,
and
I
I
think
think
Sue could have gotten some
I don't know.
votes.
I think that everybody talked about how loyal Sue was. Sue had an idol that she kept quiet and played it, at the last second. She did win an individual immunity early on. I think that right there is way
No,
more
she
than
has a
anything that
great
Teeny did.
argument. I just don't know that it's as cut
There's
and
not wrong.
dry as the other two.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I think
certainly
that
not
it
as
would have been
cut
an
and dry,
interesting
but
conversation for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Mhm,
oh
mhm.
man. Um, but all right, so yeah, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on the fire making thing because the people on Twitter were like really pissed, complaining about the wind blowing
And
the
like
fire.
I
I didn't
get it,
see it.
but I
I
think
didn't have an issue, but I saw enough of it on Twitter that I just wanted to get
it's just because the
opinions from you
online
guys
survivor community is really endeared towards Teeny. Like I don't
towards
think that
Teeny. Yeah.
it's like if it was somebody else, I don't think it would have necessarily
Right.
been as big of a conversation because again, the whole point of this game is that you're playing in the elements from the second you get to the island to
Right,
the
right,
second you
right.
get off. The elements affect every aspect of this.
I no, yeah, I definitely don't disagree.
Don't you think it's always windy at these final tribals, though?
It's not the first time we've seen it for sure.
Yeah,
What?
it's not. I almost feel like they're manufacturing the wind. Like there's big fans
I
that are
mean,
like way in the set. They're just doing it like to make it dramatic. Like I don't think it was like pointed at Teeny specifically, but like there is a world in which like we just have some silent fans
sure.
hiding in the woods here just to make things complicated because it just always seems like in these fire things is some wind.
And again, like we shit on Sam for not practicing fire before he got on the island, but he did pay enough attention to know to set it back to account
Mhm.
for if there might be wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to win enough, you would have let your arm be a little singed and move your fire pile
You're
back.
just like boop.
Oops. It's a couple of seconds.
Mm.
Bing, 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 bing. Just move
Yeah.
back.
It was really close.
Another thing about Teeny.
Uh,
Oh no.
It's like, you're sitting there at the final four, and like everything Teeny said was just about this whole thing with them and Sam, and I'm like, why do you have such a personal thing against Sam? Like just and because
It was so
especially
funny because they
Teeny
even referred to it as a one-sided rivalry.
yeah,
more than
Teeny
once.
was like at one point was like Sam hasn't done anything, and I'm like, then why do we have to hear you constantly complain about how terrible Sam is? He just
honestly,
said he didn't do anything.
I think we're projecting some insecurities that we have about ourselves
Sure.
onto what you perceive Sam to be. But I wasn't really getting what Teeny was getting from Sam, but I think we made a lot of judgments based on, his stature and the way that he talks and everything. We're just assuming that he's just one of those frat bros and I have to
Could be.
repel him. That's how it was coming off. And it's like, well, he might accept you if you weren't pushing him away. It's almost like
I mean, like we can also agree that there could have been moments to validate that, and we just didn't see them in the
oh,
edit.
sure,
But
there
like,
absolutely could
I
have been.
definitely
Absolutely
think
could
there
have
was
been.
at least a little bit of like
Yeah, there
projecting.
was something in there, and like I'm
Mhm.
only saying projecting because we didn't see what those moments were,
Of
so that
course,
they could
yeah.
have been there. But the only reason that makes me feel I lean more towards the projecting is that it didn't seem like anyone else shared
Mm.
Teeny's sentiments. Like they always they let them vent and everything, but it wasn't like, oh no, I know exactly what you're saying. Like there was
Yeah.
no like hardcore like double down like really agreeing. So it's like I just don't think that Sam was as bad as Teeny thought. But
Yeah.
again, we're literally seeing 40 minutes a week. So like,
Right,
what the hell do we
Right.
know? Yeah, what do we know?
Not totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about final tribal council and the jury's questions and our final three's answers and all that. I felt like Sue was constantly, well, not that I was surprised, but it felt like Sue was constantly getting overshadowed. Everyone just wanted Rachel and Sam's answers, and Sue's was kind of
I
like an
did
afterthought.
appreciate, like, I know we said a lot about Gabe throughout the season, but I did appreciate that at one point he cut in and he was like, actually, I just want to hear Sue answer this one. Like,
That
give
was
her a
Gabe,
moment.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, did I say a different name? I meant Gabe.
Oh, I didn't hear a name.
Oh,
I
sure.
just I thought you said he. I didn't hear anything. So yeah, maybe you did.
But yeah, no,
No, I
I
agree.
appreciate that he at least was like, give her a second, like just
Mhm,
let her, like
mhm.
be a part of the conversation. Like she knows she's not gonna win, we know she's not gonna win, but let her say something.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I
and I thought
think
that was nice too. I'm sorry, go
yeah, I
ahead.
agree. No, it was just I was just gonna say that I feel like it came on the heels of a question that Sierra had asked, and she was
Yes.
like, because she was like, "Oh, Rachel and Sam, I worked most closely with you guys, and I want to get your answers on this." And then Gabe was like, "Well, I worked
I work
most
closely with
closely with
you.
Sue, and I
Yeah.
Mhm.
want Sue's response." And I agree. I think that was
Throw her a bone.
Yeah, I thought
a
that
good
was
way to
nice.
remind
And,
everyone that she's there.
yeah, but you know what? Also for Sue, though, I don't think it was about that for her anymore. And I have to say that it was this episode because I was like, I know I drafted her and everything, but I'm not turned off by Sue. I'm also not endeared towards her.
Sure.
It was her in this final tribal that made me endeared towards her. I don't know that I necessarily ever need to see her play again because I don't think she did anything flashy enough to warrant a return. But she's
Sure.
very, very nice in the sense that like she just seems so gracious and grateful
Yeah.
just to be there and be part of it. No, she just sat there, her legs crossed. She's like, I'm just happy to be here. And it was
Smiling
like,
the entire time.
yeah,
Yeah.
when people would give answers, like when Rachel was answering, she was like looking at her and nodding and smiling. Like there was just something so nice about that because like it was almost like a silent acceptance of what was about to come, but also
Mhm.
like, I'm not challenging you. I'm proud of you. I think you deserve it. Like you just don't see that enough in these games. So
Right.
yeah, I think Sue's great. Oh, I love
Especially
Sue
because
now.
in that moment, you have to assume she knew she wasn't gonna take this game.
Yeah, no,
Just
yeah, she knew and
the
she was cool
appreciation.
about it.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
appreciation for what the winning game clearly was like.
Yes, it was really nice to see. I
Yeah.
liked it a
Mhm,
lot.
mhm.
Yeah, Sue's really cool. Sue's
What
cool.
did you think of Sue's big moment, her big reveal that she is not 45 or whatever she said, and that she's 59? Did it get the response that you
No.
expected?
I mean, it
I
got the
mean,
response I expected, it didn't get the response she expected is the problem.
yeah, I mean, like it seemed like some people cared, but at the same time, like we knew it, so like kind of forgot that other people didn't know. So
Yeah,
I just don't think it really matters that much. Like,
yeah.
we get that stuff in Big Brother all the time too, where people are like, "Actually, I lied about my
yeah,
age and my profession," and it's like, I don't see what you think you did with that. Like,
the profession matters a little bit more than I think the age. Like because at least it just speaks to like what you do daily and maybe how you might have a little bit more of a propensity to
as a word.
to deceive. Like I don't want to play Big Brother with a lawyer.
Sure,
I
yeah.
don't want to play Big Brother with a police officer. Anybody who could sniff out the business.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like these are people I definitely want to stay away from. Um, so like professions scare me a little bit more than age. Like I don't
Age, I have never seen anyone give a shit about.
know. I guess it matters a little bit more in Survivor because of what she was able to accomplish physically. Like I'm sure this is a physically demanding and grueling game. Like I mean, you're sleeping on
Huh.
bamboo. You got bugs in your butt, and you got no food, and now you got to do these physical things. So like, it does it counts for something.
Sure, but even still, the difference between the age she is and the age she says she is not gonna make that much of a like, either one, I
Yeah, it's
still
not
feel the
like
same
now all
way
of a sudden
about.
I'm gonna throw you all these votes. Wait, whoa, 59. Now wait, hold on now, hold on.
It's not like she looks like she's 25 and she's like, "Actually, I'm 60," and it's like, "Wow, your skin is great." Like, it doesn't like, this lie doesn't matter.
Yes, yeah.
I'm still I'm still just laughing at Kyle going, "You got bugs in your butt."
It's just fucking terrible. I cannot imagine. I don't know how anybody smiles living out there. I would just be like the crankiest freaking
Oh,
dick
I would
like
be in a
ever.
pissy mood the
Yes.
entire time, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm, hmm.
I can
It's
see
terrible.
I mean, I can definitely see why Sue would wanna lie about her age if you worry that you're the oldest
Oh,
person,
yes.
right?
I do see
Like
why she would want to lie.
yeah,
Yes.
like, if you're the
That I
oldest
do see
person
benefit
on
in
your
that.
tribe,
Yeah, people are
because like
gonna assume you can't do
right,
things.
like, you wanna
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
fair shake, and it's like, if people thought that Sue was older earlier in the game, in the 3 tribe stage, maybe they would wanna
Not
vote
have
her
worked with
out
her.
if they think that she's weak, and then you
Yes.
Oh,
find
I
out
okay, I see what
right,
you're
like, when
Yeah.
you get to the post-merge, it's you find out that, no, actually, in a lot of these immunity challenges, Kyle's winning and Sue is the 2nd place finisher. Like,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for
I
Kyle, Sue
forgot
would
for
be
a
winning
second.
these.
I
Yeah.
forgot for a
Yeah.
second that immunities start out in teams because I was like, well, I mean, it just sees like she's less of a threat, so wouldn't that make you want to keep her around more? But the teams aspect does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get why you'd want to keep it a secret. I just don't think that the big reveal does anything for you at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you to get to that point, but then
Sure.
that it's not really. No one cares anymore.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot else. Obviously, we had a lot of questions. What did you guys think? Were any questions or answers that stuck out to you? Anything that you maybe would have done differently if you were Sam or Rachel, knowing that they were the top two contenders?
No, I thought both of their answers were really, really great.
Yeah.
And, I kind of went into the game not thinking much of Sam's game, but his responses, I still don't think he deserved to win over Rachel. I think it ended correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But like I definitely did walk away from that thing. You know what? Okay. You did you sold yourself well. You did a little
Yeah.
bit more than I would have given you credit for. But it wouldn't have swayed where my vote went.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to say, just as a quick aside, shout out to the editors of A, this season, but B, this episode, because we all knew going into Final Four that the clear front runner was going to be Rachel. But the editors of this episode did such a great job of that, like, push and pull and, like, where's the vote going to go, that even, like, going in, I knew Rachel was going to win, but there was a point there where I was like, Sam might take this. And I think it was really fun how they managed to create a dramatic finale out of a very clear sweep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the music, I think, went a long way too. They did a great
Yeah.
job with the music, honestly. Certain beats, certain points of the episode,
Sure.
I thought.
Oh yeah, this was my
very
favorite
effective.
season of the new era, hands down.
Yeah.
It's my top two. It's one of
Yeah.
one of my two favorites for
Yeah.
sure.
So obviously we got our vote. Sue with 0 votes to win. Sam did get 1 from Kyle, and the other 7 votes were all cast for Rachel to be the winner of Survivor 47. Were you surprised at all by the vote? Did you think it might be a little bit closer? Were you surprised that Sam didn't get like Sierra's vote?
Sierra was the one that I thought he could get.
Yeah.
There was a point where there was a part of me that thought that Caroline might throw Sue a rogue vote just to like give her a little something.
We saw some people really struggling too. Like I do. There's a part of me that feels like this vote could have potentially ended up being much closer. I felt like Sierra hesitated. It seems like Gabe took a minute to really think.
Gabe, I feel like took a while.
Yeah, and like I just, who knows? We might not have been that far from a potential 5-3 vote. Why do you think Kyle voted for Sam? He was the only one. What do you think it was for him?
It's hard because Sam won things, he just didn't win immunity, so like it's hard for me to say like competition prowess, but like I do think that the competition wins had something to do with it. It's just Rachel. I'd have to go back and look because I don't know if Rachel won more or just won the more important competitions, Like, did Rachel just win more immunities and Sam actually won more competitions, but they were just rewards? Like, I don't really remember what the breakdown was.
I think Rachel still won more because I feel like Sam. I remember specifically there being a point where they commented that Sam had been to the sanctuary, had won 3 rewards, but had never won immunity. And then we know that Rachel has won 4 immunity challenges without even taking any rewards into account. So I believe that Rachel still beat out Sam, but I could be wrong.
If that's the case, then I don't know specifically what it would have been.
And any wins that they would have had pre-merge, they both had because they were on the same tribe. So it's not like he has any other wins from that stage of the game over her. But that's it. Rachel is the champion of Survivor 47. Takes the win by a vote of 7-1 to 0. And we got our first look at Survivor 48 and the cast that we'll be getting. So just very briefly, any thoughts? We didn't really see much. We don't know anybody's names. We saw some faces. We got some comments. Looks fun. The logo looks cool. So that's all I got.
I have one more comment, and that is Jeff Probst. I am begging you to stop doing the immediate live after show. I'm begging you. Let me watch them go home, watch the confessionals, watch the conversations that they weren't a part of. bring back the pre-jury. Let everybody be a part of it. Like, it sucks that the pre-jury doesn't get to be a part of the live finale. And it sucks that, like, we just saw them recap the game in that final tribal. They have no new information from before the votes were read to after the votes were read. So we're just rehashing the stuff we already know about, but talking about some fun moments from the jury also. Like, let me watch people who know everything that went down. They get to see all the stuff. They get to see people scheming about them. They get to watch the confessionals. The pre-jury gets to weigh in on the finalists, on whatever. Like, I'm not getting anything out of this immediate finale.
Yeah.
No, although you and I, but in our conversation, we had a wonderful idea. Like, what
Kyle,
if you?
don't say you and I. This is all you, babe.
I know, but it was our conversation that brought it up. But I would like to actually see both. Like, do your recap right there, get your answers and everything. And then I would love for people to be sitting in the studio with a live audience, and then they're watching their thoughts then. Now, knowing what they know now, I can just imagine people like Rachel, like looking at the audience like,
I take
like
all that.
it would just be
Forget
so
everything I
good. I'm telling you, it'd be like really great television. But do we really need to see 2 recaps? But I think that for moments like that, especially like, would you have still been so for this person if you knew? Like, I don't know.
Right,
If
and
you
those are the
insist on doing it
conversations
right
you're
after, I
only-
want both, but I would rather you just not do the one after. Like,
Because those like vote changing questions too are only going to be fun if you know all the information. Is it like, yeah,
Right.
I just wrote down Rachel's name and now 5 minutes later it's like, well, I don't know, maybe if I knew that, like, no, you don't know any new information. If I
Mm-mm.
write down Rachel's name and then a couple of months later I see that Rachel was talking mad shit about me in her confessionals, I'm going to be like, no, hold on.
Right. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I want to see some fireworks, and I almost feel like Jeff is trying to convince us that this is amazing. He's like, this is why we're
Jeff
doing
loves
it.
to
It's why
gaslight
it's
us
the
about
best."
twists we don't like.
Exactly. Like, stop it. Stop trying to make me like this. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
He's always trying to make Shot in the Dark happen. He's always trying to make the live reunion show happen. Like, don't stop insulting my intelligence. I know I don't like it.
Stop it, but I don't like this. To keep pushing the plate away. And he's like, no, come on. I reheated it. And it's like, no, the temperature wasn't the problem. I don't want this. Yeah.
Oh, Jeff Probst. He knows how to spin. He knows how to spin. It's like, look at my great twist, Shot in the Dark. Everyone was willing to give it up because it does nothing. Isn't it so exciting?
Yes.
Like,
This has never happened before. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
yeah.
Who
I'd be like,
cares?
This incredible game-changing twist. And you're just giving it up. And everyone was like, yeah.
I'd
Take
be
it.
I have a
we're
1 in 6 chance of getting it right. Like, I mean, get out of here.
like we're gonna get to like the premiere of season 48, and a whole tribe of people is gonna come up on the beach. The first thing they're gonna say to Jeff is like, "Hey, we want to give our shots in the dark away right now."
Yeah, can we just start this off?
Just
We all
give us-
agree
just
we don't
Song
want
and
it.
dance.
Yeah,
Just give us some
Just give us
rice.
the pot and the machete right now.
We want to play regular Survivor anyway.
Yeah. But all right, I think that's all I got. You guys, anything else?
One more quick thing just before I forget.
Oh,
We asked our dear sweet Mikey to record a video and he could not, but he did in the group chat write a little he said, I don't think I'll have time to make a video, but loved the finale and how close it felt the whole episode. I was rooting for my boy Sam to the very end, but Rachel had a very well-deserved win.
yes.
Our parting thoughts from Mr. Marmon.
Mr. Marmon, who is probably on stage as we
Right
speak,
now.
right? Literally singing and dancing his heart out. So we hope that you are breaking a leg, Mikey. But all right, wow, another season
your
of
leg
Survivor
is broken.
Yeah, we hope that your leg is completely shattered.
Yikes.
Jeez.
I mean, it's
Too far.
Oh, it all means the same thing. All right, so I mean, shattered is broken, right?
It is, but I mean, like, I would rather a clean break than a shatter. Your bone got no shot after a shatter.
Your bone.
Well, this has been Strat Chat Pod's coverage of another season of Survivor 47. A lot of fun this one. I love Survivor. I really do. We've got a lot of good Survivor stuff to look forward to. not just our version, Survivor 48, but Australian Survivor with Australia versus the world, which I cannot wait for. And then the other, see, what do they call the next Australian Survivor season also? Why am I blanking on the name?
I think it's another Brains versus Brawn.
Brains versus Brawn, yeah. Okay. I can't believe I was blanking on it. But yes, a lot of exciting things to come up in the future. But tonight we're not done. We actually have some more stuff to talk about, not just Survivor, the Challenge 40, Battle of the Eras. We are just before the final there. We lost our last female competitor during this episode last night. And we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking
Don't
about
worry, I got some stuff to say.
I'm sorry, Gina.
I had to check to see where she was, and oh my gosh. I was so excited to see.
Don't worry, I have a comment.
Well, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get into it. So if you're watching us, if you're listening to us right now, come hang out in just a little bit, like 9 o'clock. We're going to take like a 10-minute break. We're going to take a little pee break. Everybody refresh your drinks, refresh yourselves, and meet back here 9 p.m. to discuss the Challenge 40. All right. We'll see you soon.
We will.